and y'all have children, don't try to fight that battle by yourself.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody.
Because it's
Go
hard.
to a therapist. Go sit down with somebody. Go get some coaching. Go get a life coach. Go talk to, because if you try to do it by yourself, guess what? You're only going to mess it up.
And you're passing that on to the kids, which is never good. I mean, that's one thing I can say to put a more positive note on it.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Living Outlandish. Hey, my love.
Huh?
Are you ready for another episode?
It depends
Depends.
on what we're talking about.
Well, I thought we would go a little deeper today and, get canceled or people like us. They say that either you love or hate this kind of situation.
I'm sorry. I'm on here when I can cancel.
Blended families.
Oh, well. Okay, we may get canceled.
Well, the beauty of it is we have one. I think we talked about it in maybe episode 1 when we kind of introduced ourselves.
And I'm a product of one.
Yeah, and I'm a product of one. My parents and my father does have outside siblings, if you will.
Okay.
So it's been our entire life.
Yeah.
You ready for this roller coaster?
None ever in the house with me, but yeah, I'm a product.
Okay. So for the audience who may not know, what defines a blended family?
Kids from everywhere. Trying to survive with the same parents.
Yeah. So we talked about I had a son prior to us getting together.
Okay.
And so joining in to that relationship with you and I, we had to figure that out. Like
A lot. Dating, we had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Marriage, we had to figure it out.
what were you thinking dating a guy in college with a kid?
It wasn't the plan. My mama definitely didn't like it.
Oh,
But, made it work.
made it work.
I think when you first told me you had a son, I was like, okay, next.
Yeah.
Next dude.
Swipe left.
Next. Yeah.
Glad we weren't on this day and age where you date
Whatever
online.
dating app.
Yeah, dating apps, because I'm glad that I did not have to deal with that. I have to put that information out on the dating app, and you would just swipe left on.
Yeah,
Is it right or left?
You were wearing shiny shirts and you had a kid, and then we was out. And a Jerry curl.
Really? Is
Done.
that what we doing? Is that what we? You came ready to fight today. I thought this was supposed to be a peaceful conversation.
And you wore a suit everywhere. I just don't know.
Listen, I am a PK, a former pastor. Yes, I get it, but I am a PK, like preacher's kid through and through. If you,
That S curl almost broke us up though.
whoo, i.e. why I am bald now. Like those of you who don't know, I am bald, but I shaved
choice.
by choice. By choice. Growing up, I was the S curl kid. I was one of those so glow. Yeah.
When he came to visit, I'd be like, "Can you please not lean back on my couch?"
Don't lean your head back. Just
Don't do
lean forward. So I shaved in college, and she fell
was
in
a
love
dare.
with it.
It was a
dare.
dare.
Yeah, from your not her biological brother, but her college brother, and his girlfriend at the time. He dared me
Because he was
to do
bald.
it because he was bald, and I was like, oh, say less. And so we went to his bathroom, shaved it off, and was good. And then I saw she liked it, and guess what, fellas? When you find out that your lady likes something, keep it. That's hard to come by. And so now all these years later, I grow it maybe once a year. I didn't do it this year.
No shave November.
Yeah, I didn't do it this
I
year
know. Thank God.
Yeah,
Because you look like you're 10 or 15.
because it makes me look
growing.
really young. It does. But we went into the bathroom, shaved it off. I fell in love with it because I knew you loved it, and I was trying to do any and everything. I already had a couple of strikes against me, so we said that I had a son,
and it was easier to take care of.
Yeah, it was. Now all these years later, I can't see myself with hair. Well, for long, like I'll try it, I'll grow it, but it's irritating. It itches. Yeah, just don't like it. So to all my have to bald brothers, I apologize that I am not a have to. I can still grow a full head, but I don't like it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So back to the blended family thing.
Okay.
So you made a comment to say from a dating, right? Those of you who are dating in the world today, that's a common thing, right? Where you've had relationships, and so you a product of those relationships, children come, and you're dating in the world. Or
even marriage. I mean, not even just dating. Some are married.
Absolutely, trying to get married, right? A lot of people cut off people, right? And that is a deadlock no. Tell me what made you not put that on the list as a no for me in dating world, and still choosing to allow yourself to feel something, to allow yourself to experience something different. I don't think you had ever dated somebody with a child before. And so what one, I know I'm different. I get that, I understand, but outside of me being the best looking guy you had ever set eyes on, what was it about me that made you say, you know what, I'll give this guy a chance?
Well, I kind of lost hope when I found out that LL Cool J was married.
Oh, that was what it was? It was like, hey.
Well, there's Mike.
The rest is history. I'll take him.
I think it was still a no for the longest because we were friends.
Yeah, we were.
And I was like, we're just going to be friends because you're friend zoned because you got a lot. You got a lot going on.
A lot of baggage. 2 jobs, kid, school.
Very strong church.
Yeah.
Very, very big family.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So then after we were friends and hung out and did all that, then it was like, oh, okay. We got closer unexpectedly without, like, it was kind of, you did, like, I don't know. It was kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. At the time when we first met, if you recall, I was actually still dating my son's mother. We were in a okay relationship, like nothing bad. And so when we first met, like literally friend zone, right? Mm-hmm. It was, hey, you're a cool person. Cool. I think we all went. We went into going to movies together.
10 of us,
but it was a group. Like I wasn't going with you. You weren't going with me. It was a mass group of individuals that happened to want to go to the start of a movie. And quite frankly,
I stayed awake that movie.
Yeah, Lord, that's a show for another day. Our kids and still laugh about that because she does not stay awake during movies. But we were friends. I think the most important part, reason why I want to bring it up as far as what made me quote unquote different, is we weren't really trying to date.
No, not at all.
Like we were
I was talking to you about guys that I was talking to.
Yeah. Like you were telling me your business. I was like, hey, well, if he gonna do this, then you need to do that, right? It was I was trying to educate you on how to find your Boaz, right? And lo and behold, some month later, because we were just in a situation, and I'll call it out. Let's be real. One of my cousins actually wanted to date you. He did. She does not like that story, but it's true. He did. He wanted to date you. And he didn't like me for a while because of it.
He didn't. He's still super sweet.
He is. I love him. I absolutely love him.
He did not.
He's one of my favorite. But he was upset with me for a while because you were a catch. You were the catch. Hey, it's true. I would be mad if I was him too.
You think everybody wants me?
Hey,
the waiter's like, "Can I bring you some water?" Why is he flirting with you?
He ain't asked me if I want no water. I'm just saying. I'm thirsty too. It's the facts. Facts be faxing. So we go and we're dating. Okay. After a while, we finally say, you know what? There's something here. Let's try it. And you tell your mother and who lives with her sister, right? You tell them that you're dating a guy with a kid. Unpack that for us. How did that conversation go? I kind of want to know.
I don't think I remember the conversation. I do remember when she met you. It was after the ring ceremony, and she said
College. She got her ring in college, so you're getting ready to graduate, and so you get your ring. That's what she.
It was before graduation.
Yeah.
But I mean, like years before graduation. But she was like, I'm gonna need to ID this young man because he doesn't look
still
like
had
he's
hair.
old enough to be dating you, and you about to be in jail. And I was like. She's like, you better make sure he's not in high school. And so I remember her asking
Yeah,
for your ID.
yeah.
But she was just like, I just don't think it's a good idea. I married your dad, and he had kids before, and it did not work out well.
Yeah.
And so, like, she had experience with it. But I didn't listen.
No, most daughters do not. Most children do not. Let's be real.
I tried. I mean, I hope the kids listen to me, but I tried to listen, but I didn't.
Well, I would say you listened. You just didn't listen in that moment, right? And what I mean by that is she taught you to see the good in people.
Yeah.
She taught you to value relationships.
That's
She
true.
taught you to not judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah.
All of
Yeah,
those things
that's
that you
true.
did and raised you in a way. There was one thing that was kind of that would have blocked us as a blessing. You didn't. You allowed the other lessons to supersede the one conversation.
That's true.
Okay. Well, from us going, and I'll tell everybody. The unfortunate part is early on in my son's life, wonderful relationship, right? Abel, because I was again, he and his mom were dating. We ended up breaking up for no reason. No, hey, we grew apart, right? We had a difference of opinion, right? But because of that, right, and because of the where we wanted different things,
Yeah.
right? She still desired that we be together at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it was almost as though we got to a place to where, 'cause some years again, you were in his life early on, right,
Yeah.
for the longest, but then all of a
So
sudden,
I think it was the second birthday party that I remember.
The
2-year-old birthday
yeah,
party.
is when we started, right? But then about what age? Maybe 5 or 6, maybe a little older. Some flipped switch. You know why? I said, "Will you marry me?"
You remember it being 5 or 6?
It was because he came down and he was there for a minute. Like we it wasn't great.
I was like, he came down, but there
I didn't
was
say it was
a
great.
lot of hell
I didn't say it
before
was great.
that.
I said, but she would tell him to say stuff to you, and again, that's a thing for relationships. I will encourage because let's be honest, we had some hard times in that relationship, right? We still have hard times because of what happened earlier on in that relationship, and just the desire, the lack of desire for him to have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And her not wanting him to have a relationship with you sparked now something 20 something years of just brokenness, right? Of broken relationships, of he and I not we tried year over year, but there was so much of the foundation that was damaged because of no, you can't be around your father because that ain't gonna be your mama. I'm your mama. That ain't gonna be your mama. Literal words. But because of it,
And I was young, so it was like, I don't want to be his mama.
yeah. And let's be
I'm
real.
out here living my best life.
We out here in these streets. I didn't say we did I didn't do everything right about it. I didn't fight hard enough. Like, and I don't think, ladies, don't, for those of you to say, hey, why didn't you fight harder to be in your kid's life? I encourage you to say, hey, why are you making it so hard?
Why do you have to fight?
To be in the kid's life? You know, you're getting child support. I'm showing up to the house and you leave. And I'm like,
Well,
hey,
we would
where are you?
It would be test. It would always be some kind of test. And it's like, well, if you don't pass this level of the test, then you can't see him. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, but you're calling a student that works 2 jobs at 11 o'clock at night. Like, he lost his binky. You need to go to the store right now and get another one. What? This is a thing?
And I'm an hour away. Yeah. But that leading here and there, like, we were all young. We
Yeah.
all made some bad decisions. Nothing against her. Hey, we all grew up, right? And
Yeah.
we become better adults. But I will encourage all the young ladies, all the young men, right? I need you to realize that the actions that we do as young people, the actions that we do as parents, they really have the most effect, not on you.
On the kid.
They have it on the kid.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that now, this is not going to be popular, and I say we might get canceled after this. I'm gonna be real. Like the damage in which she was trying to do, and I think ultimately it was if I can separate you and your son enough, then you'll leave her. Right, and then you'll come back. That was kind of the idea. At least
that's how it
what
came
was
across.
communicated. Well, no, that was what communicated. That was you left me here. You did this to me. You need to come home. That was, or not even come home, because we never lived together. But the reality of it is, it hurt me to not have a relationship with my son. It hurt me not to be able to put a real imprint on his life, right? Struggling, fighting, showing up at like, hey, we have a dedicated time. We're showing, hey, I'm picking him up at 1 o'clock, get to the house at 1 o'clock, and you're not there. And so I sit there till 2 o'clock, and I called you. Sit there till 3 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, let me go check on my parents, because they stayed in the same city. Hey, let me go hang out with my aunt. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Let me go ahead and get back on the road. Go back to Dallas at the time, because I was living in Dallas at the time. Let me go back to Dallas. About halfway there. Hey, where are you? I'm almost back to Dallas. Well, you tell your son that you don't want to see him. Like those.
But that's what I'm saying. Those tests. It shouldn't be that hard to have access to your kid.
You listen. At the end of the day, when we are looking at blended families, I want to encourage every person out there that's connected to a child. Ask yourself, what's best for the child?
Yeah.
Right? What's best for their growth? What's best for their development? That does not mean, hey, it's best that we be back together. Because guess what? That wasn't best. That was going to be a toxic relationship, right? So that wasn't even what's best. Because I know people, that's what's going to be in the comments. Well, the best is if you got back with her, and no, that's not what was going to be best. Or didn't leave your son. No, it was not going to be great. What was best is that we co-parent in such a phenomenal way that guess what? It wasn't she's trying to take you as the mom. It's more so, guess what? You get a bonus mom. Like you get somebody who loves, we talked about your shopping habit. Amen. He earned somebody that just loved to shop. Do you know what kind of, every kid wants somebody we can go to the mall and just shop. He didn't get the ability, he didn't get he didn't get to experience the greatness of who you are, right? And everything you could have poured into his life as this bonus person, this bonus even friend. Like maybe she didn't want comfortable saying bonus mom, right? Bonus friend, right? Into his life because, hey, I don't want you to have that relationship. Yeah. So I encourage.
But I have friends that they have a blended situation.
Okay.
And they do so well with co-parenting, and you're right, that bonus mom, if you will, or bonus dad becomes like a bonus friend.
Yeah.
Because they can go to them and talk to them about different situations. And I love when they see that person as an added person and not as competition.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing to compete against.
Nothing that you can. The wonderful thing and that I would say appreciate within her, she's his mom. She's always going to be his mom.
It's not going to change, yeah.
You're never going to be able to replace her as his mom. The beauty of it is that's the line. And you can now be something different, something great in his life without replacing her.
Yeah.
Everybody who's watching this, understand it's only addition. It's not subtraction. It's only subtraction from the kid when you don't allow it to happen. Now, I'm not saying just bring a bunch of people in and out a kid's life. Don't do that either, right? Make sure it's the one. Make sure he's the one. Make sure she's the one, right? That's that you want to bring in their life and experience and expose them to, right? It wasn't like, because you didn't meet him for a little bit. It wasn't until we had
while.
a serious relationship. And I think that was the they're getting serious. And
because
then
he let her meet.
he let our son meet her. He ain't done that to nobody. What is going on, right? And then outside of that, the next thing is, oh, now they're engaged. And then we got married.
And it was a whole different.
Do you remember what happened? Now, this is probably not, this is not going to be a fun conversation.
The wedding
right?
was hard.
I'm going to probably get a phone call from my parents. It's okay. It's okay. They can be mad at me. It's all right. But she got them on her side. Do you remember that? Where it was almost, and I wasn't there for the conversation. I'm talking about the actions, right? That's all I can talk to is it was almost as though, hey, if you want a relationship with your son,
don't let your son, if you want a relationship with your grandson, don't let your son see him or know when you have him. Yeah.
That's where we were. And I can't imagine for a second I would ever do that or I could ever experience that. But now, not only do you not have, I don't have my son in my life, but now I have a strenuous relationship with my parents, all because nobody decided to do what's best for the kid.
Yeah, that's true.
All because nobody decided to, hey, let's make sure we put him in a position to where he's able to be a person who has both his mom, his dad, his bonus mom, his grandparents, and all the people that
and
are
my mom
associated.
too.
Yeah, your mom was wanted to pour into her
at
life.
that point, and she was like, "Okay, this is happening, so I'm on board." And I remember she went shopping for his birthday one year, and she wouldn't accept any of the stuff. She was like, "I don't want anything that they bought."
It was crazy. She actually said, "Hey, can I get him a bank account? A savings account? Can I?"
My mom, yeah,
your mom said, "I want to open him up a savings account so I can start putting money. Catch this, so I can start putting money out of my check every time I get paid, so that when he gets ready to go to college or when he grows up, whatever he chooses to do, he would have money in the bank."
Yeah, that was
and
after
she
we had
said
the twins.
no.
Yeah, they wouldn't give us the Social Security.
They were like, "Oh no, I don't know what y'all trying to do. You're not." I was like, who does this? Like, we were married. It wasn't like you were the girlfriend, the jump off. We were full-fledged marriage.
That was after I had the twins, because she was like, "Okay, I'm setting up an account for them. I don't want to leave him out. So can you get his, information so I can do an account?" And even though she's retired, she still has automatic deposit going into the twins' savings account from her retirement check.
That's mailbox money. The granny sends mailbox money. I'm like, and we say, and that's when I knew it was beyond that moment. I'm not sure if I ever really articulated to you, but that was the moment where I knew this is going to not be, it was already hard.
Yeah, it was hard after we got married, and it got worse after I got pregnant.
It went from he's able to come to the house on a limited basis to no, I don't want my son. I don't want him to have a relationship with those kids, right? And it became very difficult.
Yeah.
I'm a pause for my mini commercial to say, hey, anybody out there with kids, listen, it is not about you, not even the man. Like, it wasn't even about me, right? It was about him. And I don't think I will tell anybody, I didn't make all the right decisions, right?
Yeah,
I didn't force it hard enough. I'll tell you, I didn't show up and just sit on the doorstep and beat the door down. I didn't put those people in her life. I didn't, right? I didn't want him to, I wanted to more so look at it as a civil situation that we could eventually get over, right? We could eventually get past it. She would eventually move mentally, emotionally past it. And we would one day we would all sing Kumbaya and we would be doing Thanksgiving together. I don't know. I was that kid. I told you back to the beginning.
Watched too many movies.
I was a PK. Listen, my daddy preached, hey, if you just pray hard enough, right? If you just, I spoke tongues over my son. I just thought it would happen, and unfortunately, it never did. And
after so many years of just running around in rat race, it was like, I'm not going to encourage you to keep doing that, because we're spending weekends on the road back and forth with no like no fruit.
Yep.
It's like, okay, we went down there, we stayed for hours, we sat there for hours, and still nothing.
Still nothing.
Or we went down there and it was arguing. Or I can't be in the car on the curb while you pick him up. So you have to take me to the gas station so that he could get in the car. It's like, so as a young person with no kids, I'm like, so why am I encouraging us to do this? We're missing time at church. We're missing times with friends, activities, all the things that we would normally, be doing with other young couples. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I'm not fighting this anymore. And I tell people all the time, some of it, counseling is essential. If you don't have a therapist, I encourage you to go get a therapist. It was through me going and having a conversation with somebody where I realized that some of my just willingness to just be frustrated and not deal with it and kind of just allow the situation to be what it was is because that was exactly what I saw growing up, right? I told y'all I am I have 4 siblings, a man, and I am the oldest of the 5 of us, and my mom has myself, and my mom has my sister, which is the last one. She's with bookends, the youngest, right? The youngest, and so there's 3 others in the middle. And while my parents, there was some shenanigans, right? What we'll say there was some entanglements going on there, and so we went through it and we dealt with it. That was life. I was young. I'm not going to hash their stuff out on here, but I will say this: my dad didn't his outside kids the way he dadded, because my parents, they were together with me, that some stuff, entanglement stuff in the middle, they got divorced, then he got remarried to somebody else, and then they got divorced, my sister, and then came from that marriage, and then after the divorce, my parents got back married, right? So got married again, and then got together. And so that was the crux of that relationship, right? And I'll do this. Let's pause for a second, and I'll give more juice to to behind that story right after this. Hey guys, if you've not yet subscribed to this podcast, question: what are you waiting on? Hey, hit subscribe now. Also, join us on Patreon for exclusive content. Follow us on social media at Living Outlandish. Also, make sure you join our mailing list for updates and newsletters. Just in case you forget, everything is here in the description below. Hey, stay connected with Living Outlandish Pod. See you soon. And we're back. Are you ready?
Yeah, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. So we were talking about my past, right? And how it shaped some of what I kind of did, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at me in the house, right? My sister came much later. We're 15 years apart. And me watching how my dad and the lack of interaction with his other children, at least my therapist says that some of that stems from what I learned by way of that.
Okay.
Right. And it caused me to believe and think that was the proper way, if you will, to handle the situation.
Okay.
But also through that, going through counseling and talking through therapy, I also realized that I was putting some things on myself that I should have, right? But some things that I probably shouldn't have.
Okay.
Because again, we talked about things that you learn kind of growing up. And remember and I think we did it in maybe the last episode, talking about in the other room,
Yeah.
how things are handled when you're
The
growing
roots.
up. The roots, yeah. So my question is, what are those things that we do as adults, as parents, that we don't know is affecting our children, right? And we don't know that they're going to carry with them into their relationships, into their marriages, at work, whatever. There are certain things that I encourage people to say, hey, again, we remember back to the beginning of the show of saying, hey, let's make sure we're doing what's best for the child.
Kid, yeah.
Because guess what? You're also teaching and training this child through this process. Now, you're not going and sitting down and say, hey, this is how you handle this. This is what you do
It's
with this.
impossible to do.
It is embedded in them based off the actions in which they see. And so, unfortunately, when it comes to our son, the reality of it is there are some things that we taught him that I'm praying that he doesn't carry with him in his new life, in his new relationships, in his hopefully a marriage, right? In him as a father. I'm hoping that he's able to be better. Now, I will say, while I wasn't able to be that for him, right? I do say by going through therapy and having conversations and getting some help myself allowed me to be a better father to our twins.
True.
Right? Allowed me to be a better father, and to want to be more involved in their life and want to be more involved in their activities, wanting to be more involved in the day-to-day and things that they do that I didn't even get to experience as a child, wanting to be what I didn't have. As much as I love my father, me and my father were besties when I was later in years, right? And in college and things of nature. But as a younger man, we just didn't have that true father bond. He wasn't a football guy. I love football. He just wasn't that guy. But I wanted to be different, and so now I want to teach different. And so it's when you don't have that that foundation right yourself, it's difficult.
But even in thinking back, you were saying you're better with the twins. Yeah, true. Different stage of life, different situations, different values, different learning. But they're also affected by that.
Yeah.
Because they'll make comments like, well, why can't we see our brother? Why doesn't he like us? Why doesn't he like daddy? Daddy's great. Because in their mind, there's nothing better or no one better than you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, why don't they get along? Because he's great, and trying to explain that. But they're still seeing it and learning, okay, well, there's another kid, what's going on.
We hear about him all the time.
Why didn't he go on vacation with us? Why, everyone's affected.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, adults or young adults making decisions and our actions have affected all three of the children. We just pray that they don't carry the bad with them as they become parents, and they get into their relationships.
That's true.
Let's migrate a little bit, because I want to kind of step back in, because one of the things I remember when he would come down, and I told y'all he didn't get to experience everything, the best parts, right? But one of the things you took him shopping, every now and then when we got the opportunity, when he did come down, and he had his own room at our house. He had his own space. He had his own toys. He had his own things. And one of the reasons why the comment was made, as far as, hey, you're not going to take my son, you're not his mom, those conversations, was at one point he wanted to move with us, right? He wanted to live with us. And while for the longest,
when he was younger.
Yeah, when he was younger. But one of the things that I realized is, in my mind, right, arrogant, I thought it was we were providing a better life. He's able to have his own bedroom here. He's able to have his stuff. We do things differently here. We act things differently here. But while some of that may have been true, right, some of that may have been true, one of the things I think also was an issue on my end, right?
You made it vacation.
It was vacation when I go to Dad's house, right, and I go over there, like I don't get in trouble. And life is great, but it was because I didn't want to discipline him, right? I when he came here. And when
you wanted it to be fun.
I wanted it to be fun.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted him to have an experience. I didn't want him again. I every other weekend, right? And it's you get him for
every
a small
other month,
and then then it became every other month, and then it became every other quarter, then it became twice a year, right? And so the less time I got with him, the less I disciplined him, and the more I wanted it to be an experience while he was here.
Which was hard for me because I'm like, you can't let this child get away with everything. And we're just sitting here and it's like, well, I don't want to upset him because then he's not going to have fun and not going to want to come back. Yeah, but that's a disservice too.
It's a disservice to him. It was a disservice to us,
yeah.
Right? Because you're looking and like, do you not see the way he's acting, or do you not see what he's doing? And also, quite frankly, you're sending him back to his mama worse off because he's been able to get away with murder here, and she lives with him every single day, and now you're making it hard for her when he gets back home, and now she has to retrain him, if you will, as far as this, because we were disciplining differently, right? Because I wanted him to have fun, I wanted him to just to be here, and we're gonna go shopping, and we're gonna go eat, we're gonna go out to eat, and what you want to do? I want to buy you everything, right? It was a fun adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't helping him.
No.
I was actually hurting him. And quite frankly, I was hurting the possibility of even a relationship as far as co-parenting was concerned with her, because of the style in which I was handling and the way in which I was handling, if you will. And so I think it's important that we talk about that a little bit, making sure that
both households are on the same wavelength.
When you are co-parenting, make sure y'all are on the same page.
And discipline should be across the board. So that's like after my dad got married and moved out, when I got in trouble, it was that one time.
That one time?
Ever.
Okay.
One time. I remember my mom, she was like, okay, we're gonna discuss this with your dad. And she called him on the phone, and I got to hear from both of them. Then when he came to visit, there was reinforcements, but it was never like I did this, and then my dad would do something different. Mm-hmm. Even though they were in separate houses, it was like, why are y'all talking? I'm not even together
no more. We're talking to each other.
And then my stepmom, I love her to death. She'd be like, well, that wasn't a good idea. Why are you talking to them? But they were good about everybody's on the same page. And I couldn't disrespect my stepmom.
Yep.
Nobody was having it. Not my mom, not my dad. I couldn't be disrespectful to my dad. And it worked because I knew I can't get away with nothing. Like all three of them are together. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if in the beginning, I don't think my mom and my stepmom got along. But it got there because it was like, okay, I got this kid. You new to the scene. This is how it's going to be. And I would go, so school would get out for summer break, like say May 25th or something. Mm-hmm. On the 26th, I'd be on an airplane.
Oh, wow.
My dad would send a ticket for me, and I would spend the whole summer with them. Mm-hmm. And whatever rules. So at first it was just me and another one of my stepsisters, or half sisters, excuse me. But after my stepmom had a kid, everybody followed the same rules. It's the rules of the house. It is what it is. If you don't like it, don't come. But these are the rules. And even after my dad died, I would still go to my stepmom's for the summer and visit her for a while.
Yeah, I remember we went down and got to stay there at the house.
At her house, yeah.
Phenomenal. You all's relationship, and again, that bonus person in your life. You got an extra person. You got
and siblings.
Yeah, you got siblings out of it.
My half sister is so mad if you call her half sister. She's like, no,
you are my.
I'm
sister.
your sister. Do not
She don't even like me calling him brother-in-law. She's like, that's my brother.
Like, no. And we're close. And I mean, she's close to my cousin. We don't talk as much as I would like, but me and my youngest sister were pregnant at the same time. Our kids are literally a month apart.
Yeah.
Same year.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's cool. And I will say, similar situation. So while my mom and my siblings, some of them were able to come over to the house and eventually have a relationship. Younger, not so much, but they wanted to be with their parents and their mom, right? They didn't really want to have that relationship. I did have one sister that we're probably the closest. So not my youngest sister. We're close by blood, but
that's the one with the real big head.
Hey, you can get off my sister. We try not to use names here, but I love you, right?
Whatever.
But
she all right.
Is she all right? So her and I, being 15 years apart, right? We didn't have we had a different type of relationship, right? But there was one my other sister, one that was born in the marriage, right? That my dad had with outside of my mom, right? And so the beautiful part about it is. Today we have the best relationship of all my siblings.
She all right.
Hey, that's my girl.
That's the one. That's the one with the big head.
We have the best relationship. And the reason I believe that, I think that is the case, is because of what you said. So when my dad and her mom got married, I would go over their house. And I would be with them. You. She included me. I got a bonus mom, if you will. Still to this day.
Her mom is real sweet because she even takes me and she calls me daughter.
Yeah. Still to this day. Like, we are close. Like, she is
mom, grandmother, brother.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm close with all of them.
I got another family. Like, I got to be a part of, like, they were the addition. Even when they got divorced, right? Me and my sister, we were able to still be around each other. We're still able to have conversation. Dad would go over there, and so I would go with Dad, right? And go visit. And so I was able to have a relationship with her. So when we grew up, right, we still talk all the time.
She texts me today, harassing me.
I like it's weird. If I don't hear from her, I think it was yesterday, I am literally on the phone, like in the middle of the day at work, and I'm like, I hadn't heard from my sister. Hey, what are you doing? Because we are just like that. But it was because the adults,
the twins,
yeah,
they know her kids,
they know her
girls,
kids.
yeah.
But it was because the adults made a decision. We're going to adult in this situation. And we're going to allow the kids to be siblings, love on one another. And because of that, everybody got better. Everybody got something added, right? Now, was I in their business, like as the adults, like parents? Do I know what went on behind the scenes? Do I know all the dirty details? As an adult, I know some stuff. But as a kid, I didn't know none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I knew? That was my sister. I like my sister. She's a cool person, right? And so I want to make sure we maintain their relationship. Now, some years later, we are still tied at the hip. Like, I got a brother out of the deal. Like, he's not my brother-in-law. He's my brother-in-love. Like, we have a phenomenal relationship, but it's because everybody involved wanted to do what was right for the kids.
Yeah.
Listen.
And I think the disadvantage is our age.
Yeah.
And then I guess with y'all situation, everyone had kids. I did not have any kids. I'm like, I'm sorry, what is all this fighting for?
It's all this drama.
What's all this struggle and drama? And I just wasn't used to it. It was like, what? Yeah. This is like a movie that I didn't think I was going to be a part of.
That I didn't sign up for. Yeah, I did not. You did not tell me this was going to be.
Because I had only watched that kind of stuff on TV.
Yeah.
I didn't know that to be a real life situation.
Yeah. I get it. And quite frankly, I didn't know, right? It was supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be, I get feelings are involved and emotions are involved. But it was supposed to be one of those situations to where, hey, we realize that because her parents weren't together. Right? They had experienced it before. So you've been in this situation. I've been in this situation. Why are we causing drama with the kid? Why are we not allowing it to be great? Right?
Because you, what was my nickname?
Oh, you were the Baylor B. I remember that. You were the Bela, not the buzzing bee. Not that one. Not that one. You were the Bela bee. So yeah, you were stuck up. You thought you were. You were.
You just wanted me because I had money.
Yep.
Let's see what else. My car got keyed. I had a brand new green Tahoe for Baylor. Car got keyed.
You still stay with me. Yeah, sorry. I said, we know we talking to everybody, but I'm not gonna hide it. I am I'm not just a child of God. I am His favorite. I'm just putting it out there. And so listen, that was nothing but
your
my
car
father.
got broken into.
That was nothing but my father that you stayed. Oh Lord, thank you,
Your
Lord.
car got broken into, but the only things that were stolen out of your car was all of my stuff.
Wonder why that was.
I was like, you took the whole window and all my stuff.
I had a system and everything. I had a system
Only my
in the back.
stuff.
Yeah, they didn't take none of that. They just took your stuff.
Only my stuff.
I don't know who took that though. I don't know who did that. I don't. Yeah, if I can't have him, you can't have your stuff. I think that's what happened. But hey, we got older. We grew up. We figured out that hey, life is better when adult well,
Yeah.
right? And the thing about it is, it's hard. That's why I encourage, like, if you are right, hey, talking to my people out in the universe, if you will, if you are in a space to where you are dating someone and y'all break up, y'all have a child, or you're married and y'all have children, don't try to fight that battle by yourself.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody.
Because it's
Go
hard.
to a therapist. Go sit down with somebody. Go get some coaching. Go get a life coach. Go talk to, because if you try to do it by yourself, guess what? You're only going to mess it up.
Yeah, because it's
Highly emotional.
feelings. And, yeah, because I can't even imagine if you're like, well, this is not working out. I'd be like, well, you're dead.
Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that.
Glad you got a good insurance policy because you're right. It's not working out.
Hey, but highly emotional.
Yeah.
So why would you take one of the most emotional parts of your life, which hey, we might as well call it, and I know we don't want to bring that up as far as race is concerned, but especially in the black community, it's something that we just don't want to do. There's a stigma, especially black men, right, where we don't want to go and talk to anybody. The reality of it is, mental health is essential. Right? Your emotional health is essential. You cannot pour out more than you have within yourself. So you're pouring and all you're doing, you just leaning an empty cup. You ain't pouring nothing out into nobody else. Why? Because you're empty yourself.
And you're passing that on to the kids, which is never good. I mean, that's one thing I can say to put a more positive note on it.
Yeah.
We've never been negative in front of your son about his mom.
I was adamant.
You were, because the minute I was like, well, you were like,
Yeah.
because I was frustrated. There would be times I'm like, somebody better get this under control, because I'm not that great of a Christian. I done forgot.
He may, and guess what? He might know. Right now, he may know he's never known from me. When he was growing up, I was very adamant. Listen, I want to say everything positive about her. I want him to view her in the best of light. I don't ever want to be the negative that he sees. Like, I don't ever want to plant that negative seed in his mind. Just because, one, that's his mom. Right. And I can't imagine anybody back in the day. Right. If you talk about my mama, them fighting words. Right. I don't care who you are. Right. Them fighting words. So I didn't want to be we were already had, I was already on the outside of his life trying to fight to get in. Right. So I definitely didn't want to add that level of, drama into his life.
That's true.
But I also wanted him, like, listen, as we grow up, I want him to view her differently. Right. I want him, whatever he has about her, I want it to be because he was able to experience that with her.
Yeah.
Not because I put something in his mind. Right? Does that make sense? And so, hey, I think that's the best thing to do.
Oh, but the things we heard.
Well, everybody's not yourself, right? Everybody's not, and people, we handle things differently, right?
Yeah.
She chose to handle it her way. I chose to handle it mine. At the end of the day, unfortunately, I don't think, I know they have a somewhat of a relationship, but I don't think they even have the relationship that they probably could because of it. So, let's shift gears a little bit. I know we have a little bit more time, so I don't want to miss this opportunity to talk about how do you handle when somebody either passes away or based off a divorce decree or just tired, right? Just one of the parents tired, and then you have a child. Right. Or even child says, I think I'll be better served in that house. Right. Where they move in to the house with somebody else. While we not dealt with that, we wanted it. Right. We wanted him to move in with us. When we were 12, I was begging him to just, please say it so we can go. Right. But how do you think we would have handled that? Right. Maybe we can go there. But any words of encouragement based off of people we talk to, because again, we do coaching for other families, we do coaching for relationships, and so we've heard a lot of stories. People have talked to us and told us some things, and so while we haven't experienced ourselves, we do have the backing and the knowledge based off of what we've gone through with relationships. What can you share are some of the best practices when a bonus child moves in, right after y'all are either already married or living together?
You have to have a united front.
Yep.
If there's another kid already in the home, the rules need to apply across the board.
Hold on? Can we pause there? That's big.
Mm-hmm.
Can you dive in that a little bit?
Well, like you were saying earlier, you didn't really want to discipline your son because it was like, oh, I want him to have fun here, or I want him to have good experiences. So if it had been after the twins were born, that would have been an issue because the twins don't get that break. They're like, You live here. This is life. It's my job to raise you. Whereas this other kid is coming in and it's like, okay, I don't want to be too hard on you because you're not used to this. This is not what you experienced. So I want to kind of meet you where you are. But that's a disservice. Like everybody needs the same rules because you don't want the kid in the home feeling like, well, I get in trouble all the time. And this kid gets away with everything. Yeah.
So that goes even beyond just if they move in. That goes to, hey, when they're visiting, make sure don't do what I did, right? Do as I say, not as I do. Don't do what I did, and make it super super fun, and even make it a difference, right? Because it could even be a case where while the children who are in the home are able to experience this fun dad, this fun mom, right, while the other child is there, when they leave, the level of discipline ramps up. And even if that's the case, it's not right because they're like, oh, whenever they come, it's different. You're acting different. You treat us differently. Even though it's fun, it's still wrong, right? You want to make sure you maintain who you are and you pass on that to the other child.
Continue and it's not even just discipline. I think it's expectations. What I've learned with the twins is they rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
If my expectations are low, then they're like, great, got it. If my expectations are high, they're like, okay, did it. So that needs to be the same. You can't say, okay, well, my expectation is a little bit lower for you because I know where you're coming from or what situation. And there may be some one-offs, but no, I expect you to be here. I expect you to perform. I expect you to follow the rules. I expect you to do your chores. I expect all the things that I expect. I'm not going to change it because at the end of the day, our job is to produce a viable citizen to release to the world.
Yeah.
So
you're still our child, and we got to do everything we can to make sure you have the necessary tools.
Yeah.
Right? Because guess what? They might be in the same situation some years later.
Yeah.
And what you want to teach them, hey kid, hey son, hey daughter, this is how you handle a situation like this. I think our children will be phenomenal, right, with conflict.
Yeah.
Why? Because they've seen us. We haven't hid it from it. Now we're not explosive, and we're not arguing in front of them like that. But
Yeah,
they've seen us.
you wait till they go to bed to throw a shoe at me. Or
Oh
something.
God.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
But the thing is, they've seen healthy communication. They've seen healthy dialogue back and forth. We're not perfect, and everything is not sunshine and rainbows every single day. Even when we're upset with each other, they've seen, hey, this is how you handle that. This is how you handle this situation. This is how you communicate.
Because I've heard one of them say, "I don't think mommy's happy with you right now."
Yeah, or dad is upset, right? We've been there. But guess what? They've seen the love in spite of, and they're like, oh, that's how you handle that. I think the same thing goes for when you were talking about blended families and bonus children and bonus parents, right? I think allowing your children, or ready? Allowing your actions to be the actions you desire for your children to see and do later in life. Like your actions should be the actions that you want your children to do when they get your age and they happen to be in the similar situation. What am I doing right now that if they emulated, would I be proud?
Yeah, yeah.
And if the answer is yes, hey, now, if you one of those people, right, and shaking your head and you still proud about that, hey, that's your deal. That's your due, right? If that's who you are. But if not, I encourage you to say, hey, I want my child to be an upstanding citizen. I want my child to give everything they have to their children. And I want to break, ready? Generational curses that if I can stop this, if I can stop them from going haywire, then hey, maybe my grandkids can be better. Maybe my great grandkids can be better. Maybe we can have it where we have good mental health in our family instead of mental trauma within our family.
Yeah.
Right? It is those things that can make the difference every day if we make some tweaks.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So as we get ready to close, I want you to speak to the parent that was the extra parent, if you will, the bonus parent. Any encouraging words for them?
Patience and prayer. I mean, because you would hope that it would eventually come around, and to try, give effort. I was young. I didn't have any kids, so I didn't see the value in giving effort more than what I was.
We didn't have this.
Yeah. But obviously now looking back, there's probably some more that could have been done. There is more that could have been done. But when you're in it, you're like, why do I have to put on boxing gloves every day? Every day.
Yeah.
But it's a a lifelong learning experience. So.
Well, hey, we're at the end.
Okay.
Was that fun? That was exhausting, but it was fun. I love telling our story. I love because we're not reliving it because we have, thank the Lord. The Lord has blessed us through it. But being able to share it with other people, while there are some scars, the wounds are healed. I think with everybody around, and so I'm just elated that we get to share it. So hey,
love the kid. Number one.
Love the kid. Until next time, hey, living outlandish.